Let's do this. It is time. Eh, apparently, not yet. I was going to say it is time for our randomization for our next episode. Let me take care of these guys real quick. Yeah. Aiming is actually kind of hard. Excuse me. There we go. I took out the creeper at least with the potato launcher. Although that was not my intention. It works. Okay, let's try this again now. We're gonna go ahead, hit the button. We are no longer a fish. We are gassed. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Alright then. Let's see how this turns out. Well, I turned into a Ravager instead, just because gas turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought. They're more like a 4x4, so it was a little too big to make sense for working with things. So we decided to go with re-rolling, and I got Ravager. That's what we ended up being. And it is quite interesting. It causes some issues with getting up now. I can just barely fit through, but not if there's a door. Those 6 pixels, or just those 3 pixels, are a little too much for me to fit by. So we had to adjust for that. We'll have to adjust the house. But it is now time to work on an iron farm. I have this basic setup, and I think I need to improve it though. It looks pretty bad. So I'll get to work on that. I do have a building set up. Alright. We have our schematic cannon here. And we have our table. You can see it's already saved. We're going to put our empty schematic in there. It'll write it down. And this is the build that I created in a test world. And now we're going to see if we can get it to place. There we go. Okay. Nope. I think Y is pretty good. No, I want it to be shifting that way. No. Why are you not shifting that way? Maybe if I'm on this side of it? Oh, I've got to be on that face. Okay. So looking at this, you can see it's pretty empty building, but it is decently large. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring it over one more. I think that works out pretty well. So I think if I now put it in there. Okay, need some gunpowder. Oh. Get potatoed. Now, it's missing items. This is where our book comes in. A material checklist. Oh. Should probably go sleep, huh? Ooh, carrot. That's our first carrot. Nice. Thank you. We turned a potato into a carrot. Let me actually, in that case... Oh, wait. I don't want it to use that one carrot that I have, so I'm not firing it. Ow! Stop hitting me! I only have so much armor. Yeah, I suffocate in the wall now. But if we check our book here, you can see we need 120 cobbled deep slate, 132 copper casings. I don't think we need the creeper spawn eggs. I think there was just some creepers in there when I copied it, and so it's trying to put that down. Some deep slate pillars. Layered deep slate. Actually use some mangrove roots. I don't know if I'm going to keep those. 529 polished cut andesite. So, that's going to be fun. I don't actually need those deep slate bricks. Those were just a placeholder for where the middle was. Almost 12 stacks of stripped dark oak logs. Stripped dark oak wood. Some of the glass panes. So obviously I have a lot of supplies that I need to go and look at gathering now. So I think that's going to be our next step. Alright. I have actually upgraded my digging machine so that it is now a 10 by 10. So it's pretty big. But the reason I wanted to focus on doing that was because we have a little bit of an issue here with the cobblestone generator. Unfortunately, we do keep running out of lava. Now, on its own, this isn't a big deal because we're only using it manually at the moment. But if we ever want to automate this thing, we're going to need a solid supply of lava in there. So, now that the building is finished, we're going to work on that. And that means I need to dig a hole of about 10,000 blocks. Yeah, it's a lot, but it should hopefully be worth it, because that means I'll have an infinite lava source. So I've taken this 10 by 10, and it needs to go 100 blocks down. And considering we're at Y level 70, that means we need to hit -30 by the end of this. So I think I'm going to have to let my machine dig for a while. In fact, I may just let it go all the way to bedrock, just because it'll be a little easier than trying to get an exact number that way. But I kind of have to wait for it to finish digging that, and then I'll set up the dripstone lava, renewable lava source. I'll make a copy of it over here, because actually the only thing that limited me here was iron. But obviously, now that we have this set up, that's no longer an issue. Granted, it's full of copper right now, because I've been working on, I have a bunch of extra copper in my mining machine that I put through it. So it's been working through that. But once it's done, we can start using it for iron again. But yeah, I think let's go ahead, let this thing run, and it'll dig that big hole for us. Things have been working. Already, you can probably see a couple things have changed from when you last saw. I've upgraded the cobblestone generator just a little bit. I unfortunately have a bit of an issue with cobble flying out the side. I don't actually know how to fix that yet. I'm thinking of ways, but nothing is coming up yet. I dug the hole, and it's already begun to start filling with lava. It's only got like 200 blocks down there. That's 200 blocks of lava, so not bad. And then this is the lava source that is fueling this big hole. It's currently a 6x6, I believe. Yeah, it's a 6x6 at the moment. I may look at expanding it, because it has been taking longer than I would like. And I don't know how fast I expected 10,000 blocks to fill up. At least it's doing pretty good so far. I do need to make sure I warn everyone, don't go jumping past that wall. It is a pit of death now. And I also... Ow. Okay, that was not what I meant to do. I've fixed the sign so it actually properly reads now. For some reason it doesn't like to say 100%. I'm not actually sure why, but this is all set up, and it auto-cooks the potatoes for you, because I don't have a mob to show it on. Oh well. But baked potatoes do in fact work, and they basically have fire aspect, which is really convenient. Now, coming in here, I have this little dirt scaffolding at the moment, so I can hop up here if I need to. I was actually just running the machine, so that's why it's got a bunch of cobble just sitting there. With the cobble, with how much the generator produces though, I may actually need to increase this more than just 3 grindstones. We may have to have a 2-piece set. But it grinds it all down into gravel. That gravel then gets pushed along and washed. And when it turns into either flint or nuggets, it gets accepted and split off. Now, there's a pileup of gravel right there, because I've actually chosen to use the flint. A lot of people just trash it, but you can, in fact, compact it back into gravel. So that's what I've chosen to do here, and it just does a quick loop back in. However, this may end up changing, just because, as you can see, there is a pretty bad backlog. And then the nuggets will come out on this side, and I left it running for, I'd say, probably about 10 minutes. Stack of iron, a little bit more, so not too bad. Now, our next thing that we're kind of going to work on, because we have a lot of the basic stuff going, is going to be that gravel. I think we need to improve that. But also, we need to work on, well, I guess not necessarily need to, but I would like to work on something that makes it a little easier for us when we do the start of every episode with the randomization. Because having this dropper be put there and then taken away every time, it's just not the greatest. So what we have instead planned, let me get rid of that creeper with my flaming potatoes. It's pretty great. There we go, he should be gone. This little outline right here. This whole area is a little bit messy because it's where I like to put my contraption down whenever I need to do maintenance on it. But this is going to be the location of our clock tower. And ep3 has provided a list of items needed to actually go and make the tower. And as you can see, it's actually a good bit of items. So we're gonna need to collect quite a few things in order to actually build this. But once we do, we'll have a big clock tower that will do the dropper randomization for us. And it'll look a lot cooler too. So, I think I'm going to work on those 2 things. Gathering materials for the clock tower, and trying to look at an improvement for the iron situation, because it's a little bit inefficient at the moment. We can definitely still improve it. Okay, I was just minding my own business, stripping the logs so I can get kind of prepped up on resources as I was gonna go build stuff. And I get the message in chat from ep3 saying I activated the cannon. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but then I look up. Wee, 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 wee! Just blocks launching themselves over to the hill. Okay, that cannon has some pretty good range apparently. Alright, this took a while, but it was definitely worth it. That is still a mess. I still need to work on that. But I am so glad that I decided to take the time to rework in here. As you can see, it already looks much better. Even just walking in, it's a lot cleaner. Everything is way better looking. And now, it shouldn't have any issues. As you can see, we've got a couple of iron ingots already starting to pile up. But the main thing I did was we only had 3 of these grindstones before, and that was bottlenecking really badly. And so I ended up doing this, condensing it all, changing the direction of the washing, and now it runs a lot smoother. You still get quite a bit piling up in there, but, and this is one thing I'm very glad is the case, because I was worried that they would get stuck on the filters, or not the filters, but the funnels. Luckily, that does not appear to be the case. I'm very glad about that. And the great part is, even though they're pushed back like that, they are actually still getting washed. So I don't need to worry about them waiting to get onto the belt to get pushed forward. So, we'll see. If I need to, I will make another one of these. I'm hoping with just one of these it'll be enough, at least for now. Next step will be to fix the cobble generator. That was I totally forgot I did this. I have a full toolbox. Or, mostly full toolbox at the moment. I have a couple of andesite alloys because I had to use those in order to make the crushing wheels. But I'm also very glad I took the time to do that, because now I know I'm going to have any supplies that I might need. I was actually thinking, though. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put some of this brass casing, because it doesn't actually use it up, which is really nice. And I personally think it looks fairly good, although I need to get that one in there first. It doesn't do anything to the top, but it still looks pretty good, so I think I'm gonna go do, at least for the cobblestone, all covered in brass casings. Yes, now I get to redo this system in an attempt to try and find a way to make it less loss. Because right now it has so much loss that it's actually causing some lag, which is not good.